Chat, let's jump into this. We are going to finish off with Rev talking about the Video Game Awards. We already knew the Video Game Awards was going to be a shit show. Has it gotten worse than what you and I have thought? No. Well, he wasn't in chat, so I'm guessing Manix searched him out to try and entice him to come to my stream? Maybe? We'll see. Oh god. Okay. But anyway, let us see if the Video Game Awards is as bad as we thinks it is. As we think it is. I cannot fucking talk now. My brain is fried. Let's just jump into this so I can rage and focus. Rage will laser focus my brain. So let's jump on this.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So today we're going to be talking about the Game Awards. They're having their 10th anniversary this year, and a lot of people are talking about them for reasons we'll get into. Now, with an award show on subjective topics like Game of the Year, you'll never make everyone happy, but there is very understandable concern about the picks that are going to be selected by the Game Awards, in particular this year, based on who is running the show. Essentially, the people who are controlling the votes and who wins and who doesn't are the biggest shills in the gaming industry.
Pretty sure, isn't IGN the big lead on the Game Awards? Aren't they the biggest operators when it comes to the Game Awards? It's 90% game journalists, I think, that control the Game Awards. But I'm pretty sure IGN has the biggest slice of this controlling pie. I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
In particular, journalists who often are pushing an agenda. So a lot of people are very concerned that this is going to prioritize an agenda push instead of giving the rightful winners the awards they deserve. So I don't think anyone would be too surprised to see something like the Veilguard end up winning Game of the Year, despite the fact that a lot of people really dislike it. But anyways, the reason why...
And the fact that Veilguard failed so abysmally, it may bankrupt BioWare. If they made Veilguard the Game of the Year, they would just literally be advertising even further than they already have. That we have no standards, no integrity. We are all about shilling for these shit companies. 100%. We already know that they are. And then this would basically just megaphone this. On top of another megaphone. That's in front of a giant fucking speaker. I mean, realistically, it's just piling more on, because nobody believes a fucking word any of these game journalists say. No one does. They're all full of shit. Steeljaw, I heard that they were drastically reducing their votes, or drastically reducing them percentage-wise in the voting scale, but with that drastic reduction going from 95% of the votes, dropping down to mid-70s, yet none of the other games saw a sudden surge in percentages either, so they literally just removed votes from Black Myth Wukong. They literally just took away votes and threw them away into the ether. Now, again, the Game Awards have about the same level of legitimacy as the Oscars and the Emmys. They do. They have the same fucking legitimacy because the Game Awards is not decided upon by actual gamers and fans of the games. It's decided by industry insiders that just go around patting themselves on the back saying, look at how awesome we are. Aren't we the greatest fucking thing in the world? So the Game Awards is in that same vein of, who gives a fuck? This doesn't mean anything. They are in the same category of they're meaningless. Like, never go see a movie, a TV show, or play a video game based on it winning an award. Because that award is functionally meaningless. Go by legitimate reviews and go by what is fun for you. And by that, I mean, even if it's a game where people say it's, where the general consensus is it is a woke piece of shit, even then, if you enjoy the game, enjoy it. Okay, Tierra Black, have a good night. Like, okay, for perfect example, Veilguard being the biggest news today. If you enjoyed Veilguard and want to keep playing it, keep playing it. As long as you are enjoying it, go for it. In the end, that is what counts. In the end, if you enjoy playing the game, that is what counts. But the thing is when you are all, what people are pointing out is that these companies are spending millions of dollars making games that are only appealing to a small minority of players. The game fails abysmally, and then they call all the people who didn't want to play their game istophobes. Because they said, I hate this game, it's shit, because of reasons X, Y, Z, double A, omega, alpha, what have you. And then they'll istophobe them when the DEI shit is like a small percentage of it. Like the LGBT stuff is a small percentage of it. It's just added on top of horrible gameplay, bad game mechanics, bad graphics, etc., etc., etc. That's where people have the problem, is they're making games for the minority of players, as in number, as in small amount. That's what I refer to by the minority of players, the small amount of people that would enjoy it, versus the majority of players that would enjoy it. That's where people have the problem.
A lot of people are concerned is about how the winners are selected. So this is right from their website. Winners are determined by a blended vote between the voting jury, 90%, and public fan voting, 10%.
That's not a blended vote. This is not a blended vote. 90% of game journalists and 10% of public fan voting, that's not blended. That is flat out game journalist voting. The public fan vote basically doesn't count. That's what this is. Let us make no mistake. The fan vote means nothing. They might as well not even have it. This is literally just insulting fans. This is literally a giant fuck you to fans. Thank you, LaRook. Have a good night. Yeah, this is literally them saying, like, behind our backs saying, fuck you fans, while at our front saying, see, look, we're letting you voice your opinions. Aren't we wonderful people? Behind our backs are saying, you fucking morons actually think we give a fuck what you say, and you're stupid enough to fall for it thinking your votes mean anything. That's what the voting jury is. Game journalists, big dog. That's who the voting jury is. Game journalists. Yeah. Hi, KG. Hi, KG. But it's a fucking joke.
So basically, the voting jury is the controlling factor. 10%, yeah, that sounds great. But really, the deciding factor in all this is the jury voting system here. And who's a part of this jury? Well, this now deleted screenshot from their website contains some of the people who will be controlling these awards, including...
Fuck me sideways. Do you see what I see, chat? Do you see what I see? In addition to IGN. Do you see what I see? IGN already. No, he did say that this is some of, not all. He said this is some of the 90%. IGN, Inverse, The Jeff Gerstmann Show? Who the fuck is Jeff Gerstmann? Kinda Funny? Who the fuck are they? LA Times, figured that one out. Min-Max, no clue who that is. PC Gamer, Polygon. Polygon, I think, is still okay. I haven't actually heard too much bad stuff about Polygon. Gerstmann is legit. Okay, I never heard of the man. I've never fucking heard of this man. That's why I was like, who the hell is this? I've never heard of him. But Polygon has been okay. I haven't heard anything bad about Polygon as of late. VentureBeat, I don't know. The Verge, Touch Arcade, What's Good Games, Game Rant. Oh, fuck me with Game Rant. Game Rant is as bad as IGN. They are flat out as bad as IGN. NPR, why the fuck is NPR voting on video games? Yeah, The Verge is still around. They've got a channel on YouTube. And here we go. Fucking Pride. Pride is voting on video games. Do you really think Pride is going to vote for anything that isn't vomiting up DEI? And then Variety. Well, NPR is radio and television. I think. I'm pretty sure NPR does TV too. But it, started off as radio. It was National Public Radio. But I think they've moved into TV also. So out of all of this sample size of people that are going to be voting, I see one that actually might have a good gaming opinion. And that's Polygon. That's the one gaming journalist that I think might actually have a proper take on the games. Because like I said, I haven't actually heard about Polygon doing anything shit like the rest of them. Yeah, well, Cortez, I think that's what everybody is saying. Everybody is probably calling it the DEI awards, not the video game awards.
IGN, Inverse, Polygon, PC Gamer, the LA Times, The Verge, Pride, NPR, Game Rant, Variety, and so on. So this is a very confusing list. Even for the
Polygon?
networks here that are actually involved in gaming, they don't inspire any confidence that they're going to make good choices. I mean, look at IGN, for example, right? This is the same company that has reviewed...
Well, again, Big Dog, this was a sample size of the jurors. This is not all of them. This is a sample of them. There is more than this. Were they? I mean, Polygon also did a story on us. Like, Polygon, I showed it to you guys on stream. Polygon did that story about the fuel rats. So, honestly, that's been my only exposure to Polygon. It was the story they did on us, so,
Reviewed multiple games from this year like Dustborn and Concord and given them 7 out of 10 ratings, and given Black Myth Wukong an 8, just barely better than those games in the eyes of IGN. And also, they're the ones who gave a 9 out of 10 to Veilguard, which also pushes the concerns that that's going to be a big push for Game of the Year.
And my guess is IGN will have the lion's share of... IGN will have the lion's share of votes, is my guess. Guaranteed.
But looking around, I mean, some of these organizations make no sense. Like, what is the LA Times doing here? Or NPR? Or Pride? Is this a game award show, or what is this? It sounds like...
No, they want to turn it into the fucking opening of the Olympics where they did the DEI vomitus Last Supper. That's what they wanted. That's what this is. This is a fucking showboat of DEI shit. Guaranteed. Like, if they could, they'd probably take, like, the most popular game characters, dress them up in drag, and have them prance around on the screen as some kind of fucking, opening number for the fucking show. Guaranteed.
A bunch of potential virtue signaling. And also on this list, you'll notice a group called Kinda Funny. Now that's kind of ironic because I was planning on talking about one individual from their group here, Andy Cortez, who's been going on a big rant about DEI in video games recently. He clearly very much loves DEI and is very angry at anyone who dares to criticize it. So he made this tweet relatively recently saying, if you're angry at the games industry for being quote-unquote too woke, I think you're a dummy. If you then fall for the right-wing grifts and allow someone to profit off of your anger, the grifter thinks you're a dummy too.
Really? So, okay, brass tacks for chat. I'm angry at the games industry for what they're doing. I am. I think I've made this pretty clear. You guys are angry at the games industry. I believe that's pretty clear. And to be absolutely blunt, I am technically profiting with the stream because you guys are being ridiculously fucking generous and making me cry from it. So technically speaking, I am profiting off your anger because I am reacting to these videos. I am expressing anger about it. You guys are getting angry. Chat, does that make me a grifter and do I think you're dummies? Eh? Am I a grifter now and do I think you're dummies? Do you guys see how this doesn't work? You see how this doesn't work? No, you're not, K-Dog. That's my point. You're not dummies. You are wonderful people, and you are often smarter than I am. That's my point. But yes, he's the dummy. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind about adding more ways to roleplay in RPG games, but the main problem is pushing it down our throats when some of us want to play the game in a straight line. Exactly, Skeletor. That is what I've been saying. I've been saying this since I started streaming, and long before that. The problem is it getting shoved down people's throats. If you didn't try to shove it down people's throats, they wouldn't have a problem with it. It's literally as simple as that. Honestly, it is as simple as stop trying to shove it down your customers' throats.
Don't be a dummy. So yeah, a lot of projection here, and as always...
Hey, look at what Grum said. I don't know if he's going to say this. Grum's responded, do you have a logical argument about games, or are you just slinging insults and your feelings? Games are objectively worse as the market doesn't like Concord Dragon Age failing to reach 1 million sales, Dustborn, and more. I don't know if Red's gonna talk about that.
The word grifter, the phrase, has lost all meaning. Like a lot of words on the internet, people misuse it all the time. So
have I not said the exact same thing? Have I not said the exact same fucking thing? Words have lost so many words that once had power to make people sit up and pay attention have lost all their power. They have. They have both become plebeian insults that people ignore. The English language has been destroyed in the last decade because of overuse of words like homophobe, misogynist, sexist, Nazi, racist, all of this stuff that once upon a time were designed to make you sit up and pay attention that something horrible is going on have lost all meaning. So now when you present those words, people automatically assume you're overreacting. Fascist, there's another one that's been grotesquely overused and has lost all meaning. Like, remember, Nazis were the ones that literally slaughtered, that slaughtered literally millions of people outside of combat. They slaughtered millions of people. They are by and large considered one of the most evil organizations in the history of the human race. And that label gets thrown around like a common adjective. Today, you disagree with someone and you are referred to someone and you'll be referred to as one of the most evil organizations in human history. That's how horribly this collective has destroyed language. At least in North America. It's fucking ridiculous.
Besides just basically calling you stupid for enjoying videos of someone criticizing anything to do with DI in video games, they're also trying to say that people sharing that narrative are grifters. And if you don't know what a grifter actually is, because places like social media and Twitter in particular have misled you, a grifter is someone who shares or pushes an agenda that they don't actually care about or believe in whatsoever. They're just doing it for a profit. And basically, people like Andy Cortez just label anyone who disagrees with them as a grifter. They can't possibly understand that someone might actually believe in what they're saying that is contrary to what people like Andy think. A lot of people are very critical of DEI, and that's a very relevant topic because it's completely eviscerated the gaming industry. So that's something a lot of people are talking about who care about games, because that's how bad things have gotten. But it goes way over Andy Cortez's head, and it seems like he has this issue with anyone who's making some sort of a...
Well, I mean, Andy Cortez is just a fucking activist. Or he's a wannabe activist. Like, let's play this straight here. We call them activists, but they're not actually true activists. Unfortunately, that is yet another word that has been bastardized into oblivion. An actual activist is someone that fights for positive change and is a pathfinder and is a trailblazer in this as being an instrument of this change. That is what an activist is. And unfortunately, I am guilty of this, of basically turning the word activist into...
On Facebook I have a profile pic of my first ever bite of a bison burger, and I was treated like a fascist by a vegan. People need to chill out.
Well, people don't have any chill, unfortunately. Unfortunately, people just have no fucking chill. And they're fighting for the wrong reasons and in the completely wrong ways. And unfortunately, until they get shut down hard, because the problem is, they have the eyes, the ears, and the wallets of people of power and influence. Until that stops, it's going to be a never-ending cycle. And player one, thank you for the follow. Welcome.
Profit or expanding their career by talking about these things in the gaming industry. And I can see that's a lot of projection. I can see like how this channel is performing. This is a multiple person unit running this account, and they're getting steamrolled. They're getting absolutely bodied by one-man shows across YouTube who are just recording in their bedroom talking about...
Wait, fucking wait. This is a YouTube channel with 298k subscribers. And it's voting on the Video Game Awards? Good night, Falcon. And they've got 6,000 videos. They posted 6,000 fucking videos. They only have 298k subscribers. What? Yeah, I have to wonder. If it's the I don't fucking know.
Gaming and criticizing DEI. So I guess it must be very frustrating for them,
Their
but
politics work, that's
anyways,
why.
this is the coup de grace here. This is a minute-long rant that he recorded and posted himself for God knows what reason.
Because of course
he
he did.
talks about the truth involving DEI and the angry grift tubers.
You fucking need DEI because you wouldn't have jobs if DEI didn't exist to complain about.
I'm sorry, what now? What? So, Andy Cortez, are you talking to... So are you talking to the people right now that suck at their jobs? And literally they would not have a job unless DEI handed them a job that they were not qualified for in the first place? Yes, you're absolutely right about that. You are absolutely right. DEI is absolutely responsible for hiring these shit devs, these shit writers, and these shit, these shit companies.
Why does he
to
look
make
like
shit
a knockoff
games.
Hassan?
He does. He does look like a knockoff Hassan. He's talking like him too. Cause that's the only explanation is he's actually talking to the DEI people, saying this is the reason why you got jobs. He's also saying you're lucky that corporations are so fucking pussy whipped right now that that they can get conned into doing DEI shit. Yeah. He's literally saying affirmative action is what got you your job, not the fact that you actually deserve to have the job.
You wouldn't be making money on YouTube if DEI didn't exist. So you're really the ones that need it.
Yeah, that's a very weird
No.
point to be making. Again,
There you go.
No.
Yeah, he's just openly admitting that the only reason why bad devs, bad writers get jobs in the first place is because of DEI. That's the only reason why they get hired in the first place. He just fucking admitted it. Bravo.
Nobody, the people criticizing DEI, they don't want it to exist. They wouldn't be talking about it if it didn't exist, and that's a good thing. Like, we invite the challenge. If you want to get rid of all this DEI, if you want DEI to leave the industry, perfect. That's like complaining about a cop saying like, oh, you wouldn't have a job if there was no crime. Well, duh, that'd be a great thing, but that's not the reality. A lot of people are criticizing DEI because it's had a very negative impact on the gaming industry, and I think that is a normal and healthy thing to do. You're supposed to point out problems and talk about it if it's effective.
Yeah. If you didn't have DEI, you would actually hire people that know how to do the fucking job and would actually adjust and adapt to criticisms to make a better product. Yeah, and fuck the soft language. DEI is just a modern day version of racism. Flat the fuck out. It's a modern day of racism, and it's a modern day version of misandry. Call it like it the fuck is. Yeah, exactly, Xanax. And like Angry Joe, I disagree with him about. I've disagreed with takes that he's had. Generally speaking, though, I find him to be pretty genuine for most of his reviews. But DEI is modern day racism, wrapped up in a pretty package with a bow. It's racism and it's misandry, flat out. And these companies have proven that's what it is. Yeah, Angry Video Game Nerd. Yeah, like I have not watched too much of. God, I forget his real name now. I haven't actually watched much of his stuff as of late, but don't forget, Angry Video Game Nerd largely reviews older video games. James Roll, thank you, Bat Rap S. It's been a while since I watched James. But he he usually does older games. He doesn't do modern games. That's the thing. He reviews older games, and he does it for comedic value. So, Angry Video Game Nerd is a bit different. Like, Angry Joe is current. He does current stuff. And, yeah. So, but yeah, Anyway, I will move on.
Your hobby and medium.
Unless your game has only white dudes, if you have a woman, she better be fucking hot.
Yeah.
You know, get an ugly woman out of my game.
Problem? I see no problem. I see no problem with this. Put hot women in games. Where's the problem? Explain to me why this is a bad thing, Andy Cortez. Explain to me why you have a problem with hot women being in video games. Because guess what? It's worked for fucking decades. Do you want to know when games started tanking like fucking crazy? When DEI started replacing the hot women with ugly bitches. Annihilation? Perhaps? Seriously. It is mind-boggling how stupid this man is. Yeah, undoubtedly, he's been turned down by hot women and so he hates hot women. Which, that's a you problem, my bub. That's a you problem, my guy. But yeah, gamers want hot women in their games. Why? Because they like looking at hot women. They do. This is just fact. The minute gaming industry started replacing all the hot women with ugly bitches, that's around the same time the gaming industry has started to fall off, and it hasn't stopped. It's worked for decades. You could even say centuries. It's worked for a fucking reason, dumbass.
That lady better be super smoking hot.
Yep.
That's the way they think, right? Back in the day.
So again, it's more weird projection and talking about a world that doesn't really exist. Okay, there's been diverse characters in video games forever, but the difference
Also
is
true.
that diversity was
Also true. He's bitching about there's no diversity in games. Chat? Correct me if I'm wrong. Did not Gears of War, that it was not the lead character, was not one of the most popular characters in Gears of War a black man? Eh? Last time I checked, that's not white. Metroid, thank you, Merlin. Another perfect example. Who is the protagonist of Metroid? One of the most popular video game icons in history. Samus Aran. Franklin from GTA. Like, there was plenty of diversity in games that was popular before DEI was around. Flat the fuck out. There was. Before the rise of DEI and Sweet Baby Inc. and all this other bullshit, there was diversity. That was popular. But what happened is somebody got into the White House that said things you didn't like, and you swung in an extreme direction, and you've just been riding that roller coaster ever since. The problem is, you aren't seeing that it's on a continuous downward slope, and you're too stupid to get off the train.
just a natural function of the story or whatever was going on. It wasn't forced diversity to push an agenda. That's the difference. That's what people
Good night,
have
Halcyon.
an issue with. Gamers aren't just angry because there's diversity in games. They're angry about forced diversity where they're being fed a message they don't want to receive, and their immersion and their ability to enjoy the game they're playing is ruined because stuff's being pushed on them 24/7.
And it's not only that. It is not only the forced diversity. It's the forced diversity in place of a good game, a good story, good graphics, good characters. So it's not only the diversity is being forced, it is being done as a replacement for every other aspect of the game as well. The game has shit story, the game has shit characters, the game has shit graphics, but we've got diversity. And that's the important part, right? That's what gamers are pissed off about. You can have diversity. Gamers are fine with diversity. They love diversity. They also like it in conjunction with good characters and good stories. When you elevate the one and sacrifice the rest for it, you're gonna have a bad time.
Game development studios were primarily white dudes, and they didn't really think about diversity.
First of all, who fucking cares that the game devs were mostly white dudes? They put out fucking bangers. These devs put out fucking banger games that people still play to this day because they like them more than the bullshit that they're putting out now. If they can do the job and they do it exceedingly well, which they did, what's the problem? And what happened? They kicked out all the white guys. They brought in women and women of color and gay people and transgender people who were not qualified to do this job the way the white dudes were. What happened? The entire gaming industry has gone down the shitter. Because they took the white guys who knew what they were doing and did it really fucking well, said, get out, we're bringing in our team, and their team sucked ass. And for some games, they had to bring back the white guys to try and fix their shit. And they couldn't because it was fucked up beyond all recognition as it stands.
I'd like to know who asked this Dollar General knockoff Hassan ripoff his worthless opinion.
That's the point, no one did, Ace. He's literally recorded and posted this on his own accord. Nobody asked him the question. He's trying to make himself think he's important.
And that's one thing, right? It was a lot rarer to find non-white dudes in game development. And as that changes, and as college and learning and all that stuff kind of becomes more ubiquitous and more available for everybody, more and more people from different walks of life want to get into game development.
Yeah. G already said, what an elitist sort of point of view. We're saying basically...
No, not elitist. White savior. Motherfucker is white savior complex 100%.
Back in the day, we had all these uneducated white people making these games, but now people are going to college and they're getting an education and they're swooping in and saving this industry by making it more diverse. Like, that is a crazy thing to say, but also he'll continue on and really hammer home this point that basically the entire industry from its inception was just a bunch of white dudes making white characters, because apparently there's been no diverse characters ever until the last couple of years.
And then what happens then?
They're making the characters the people that they know, the things that they see.
And that's such a juvenile way of looking at games. It's not about telling a story, it's about self-inserts. You know, that's the issue we're seeing with a lot of games like Concord and other ones that we talked about so far this year, where there's a big self-insert problem, okay? You can tell a story without having to insert yourself into it. Like, it's such a weird thing that they...
And that's the thing. Games of old that were good were not self-inserts. They were stories told by storytellers about fictional people. They 100% said, this is fiction. This is about a fantasy. For you to imagine. For you to imagine that you might be this character for a short time while you're playing this game. Current games is, I want to put myself into the game and have you play as me. It is 100%, the devs saying, I wish we could be this person, so we're going to put them into the game. Along with that story. They don't care about the actual gamers. The gaming industry has become, like Hollywood, a $1 million therapy session. That's how it was with Dustborn. That's how we're seeing with a lot of the modern games. It is a millions of dollars therapy session for these fucking game devs. And guess what? The public isn't going to pay your millions of dollars therapy session for you, game companies. Have you figured this one out yet?
Try to normalize here. Like, no, tell a good story. It's for other people. It's not for yourself or expressing yourself or including yourself or telling your story or anything like that. It's just a very weird thing to justify.
Just like the white people did.
Just like you put yourself into stories, right?
Yeah.
And I talked about that with Dragon Age Veilguard, how the game director, Corinne Bush, she's a trans woman. And sometimes in games,
Wait, when I visited BioWare in Austin 2014, one of their devs was bragging about not even knowing how to code when she got hired. Not shocked about how they're doing now, seeing as they were hiring blue hair types a decade ago. But yeah, Mannix, that's what I was saying. This has been going on for like a fucking decade. It has. And there were, Pikachu shock face that they're failing, abysmally.
you just put in your own sort of experiences, and that's so natural to happen.
No, it's not natural to happen to do a self-insert on a story. That's why you have these massive $100+ million projects failing, because it's more of just like a fun little hobby, so you can self-insert and share whatever agenda you want. It's not about telling good stories. It's not about anything like that. It's about checking boxes and giving yourself as many pats on the back as you need. It's really pathetic that we have to sit here and actually try to rationalize and normalize whatever they're trying to say here. Like, you're supposed to just allow people to self-insert, put their own agenda in, and that's supposed to be okay and normal. No, just tell a story. Stop making it about yourself as the person creating it. Make it more about the experience for the gamer, who's probably very tired of being lectured at by a bunch of out-of-touch people from the gaming industry. But anyways, you get that, and there's also some weird drama involving Andy Cortez recently, where he went after Smash JT. You can see his response here. He says, "I'll delete it because I'm not a complete piece of shit. Only about 90% when it comes to dealing with you all. Sorry you were harassed. I know you never bothered to attack anybody on this website." So what's this weird passive-aggressive backhanded attempt at an apology? What is this about? Well, it's a very disturbing story where Andy shared what he thought was his expose on Smash JT. It turned out it was a bunch of forged and altered screenshots where Andy and other people were trying to say that Smash JT and his wife were active members on some weird cuck hookup site or something. And Andy posted that without any shame, not realizing, or maybe realizing, who knows, that all of this was just fake. It was just a bunch of slander. And then when he gets caught in 4K and, humbled, he instead lashes out at Smash JT. Basically,
I'm really surprised Smash JT didn't look at taking action of some sort. That seems like that would be something that is actionable for doing that. Both Andy Cortez and the original guy that posted this shit. This wash your crack. Because this is the original poster right here who posted that shit. Andy Cortez basically was just like retweeting it, so thus promoting it. I'm a little surprised Smash JT didn't look at doing something actionable with that.
Basically being angry at him for disproving false information that he was sharing. Very weird stuff, but I say all of this to remind you, these are the kinds of people who are going to be making the decisions for this Game Award show. Okay? These are the type of people who clearly have a very, very obvious agenda and have certain biases that they are going to be operating on. But going back to the Game Awards here, there's some more bizarre news involving that. So apparently the creator, Jeff Cayley, is trying to trademark Game Awards. Meaning nobody out there would legally be able to create a show with Game Awards in the title. Think about that. They're like trying to monopolize Game Awards. It's a very weird thing. And on top of that, I said earlier that the screenshot of the list of the jury vote is gone, and that is the truth. It appears after some coverage of that list, the Game Awards have gone back and hid everything. They've hid all of the
course they have.
Jury selection, and they're making it so you don't know who's voting. But unfortunately for them, the screenshots are already out there, and it's a little bit too late to try to reverse course here. People know, and people are very concerned about the kinds of entities that will be participating in this award show, and myself and many others included don't really trust the people responsible.
All of these companies are doing this now. One second they're so proud of their DEI inclusiveness, but then all of a sudden they're hiding it. They don't want anybody to know that they're involved with DEI stuff. Sweet Baby Inc. used to promote the games that they're working on. Now suddenly, they're hiding all of the projects that they're working on because SBI has become poison for their games. Gaming Awards, promoting all the people that are involved in the voting. People start calling them out saying, your guys are full of shit, you're full of DEI woke nonsense, and you're just going to vote for Failguard because it's chock full of DEI when Black Myth Wukong is clearly the best game that's been put out. All of a sudden they're hiding it. That's the thing with all of these companies. You expose them to sunlight, they wither and die. Or they go hide back under their rock. That's all it takes. Expose them to the sunlight, and they will run and hide. Which means they don't actually stand on the principles they're supposedly espousing. Because if they did, they would be, even if they got exposed for all this, they would declare it proudly. If they actually felt like they were on the side of righteousness, they would be declaring it proudly, not running and hiding. It's very telling, is it not?
For this, and I don't think it's going to turn out very good, to be honest. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Well,
these people don't realize the difference between them and the good devs is that their stories can switch the characters, and it would still be good because of the foundation.
Yeah. Storytelling in gaming has become a completely lost art, unfortunately. And it's going to take all of these major companies crashing and burning to make a change. That's what it's going to take to make the change now. Is these major game studios need to crash and burn, and the indie studios that are actually making good games need to rise.